Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, or welcome if you're new, and welcome to my long-awaited Gel X nail tutorial. So we'll talk all about why I have gotten into Gel X and all of that as we progress, but I feel like it's only appropriate to just go ahead and start. And do know this is probably going to be the longest video that you've ever seen of a Gel X tutorial, because if I'm going to get on this internet, on Beyonce's internet, and I'm going to talk about a topic that I think that I know about or have a clue about, I am going to share all of the details. So let's start. These are freshly, I don't know if we want to call them fresh, but these are my nails. I just removed a set of nails, of Gel X nails, and I'm here to apply a new set. And really I only removed those nails because I want to go longer. So obviously I can change the shape, or you can change the shape of nails, but I cannot, obviously you cannot make nails longer. So that's why we are here today. Let's go ahead and get started. And I'm going to share with you everything that I have learned and share with you everything that I have and link everything down below. So the first thing that I like to do is I like to push back my cuticles. Now there are a number of cuticle pushers. There are these metal ones, there are plastic ones, there are, I can't imagine that I would need to be any closer, but we're gonna get close because I feel like I've never been this close before. But there are metal cuticle pushers, plastic ones, and wooden ones. If you are a beginner, if you know nothing about cuticle care and all of that, I recommend the plastic or wooden ones. Otherwise you can use these metal ones. And so what we're doing here is we are pushing back our cuticles. And the reason why we have to do this gently, I might add, especially if you're using a metal one, is because while I'm no expert on cuticles, what tends to happen is that our cuticles will grow onto our nails. And when we are applying a full set of nails, especially Gel X nails, and we want them to last as long as humanly possible, which I've gotten mine to last up to 4 weeks, we need to remove our cuticles, push them back, and we need to prep our natural nail as best as we can, because that is going to be like 70% of what contributes to one's success when it comes to nails. Was I off? Not me being completely out of focus. I haven't filmed a top-down video in a while. So I'm just pushing back my cuticles here, and I'm trying to, hopefully you are seeing that there's just like a buildup, a natural buildup of our cuticles that overgrow, or that are overgrown onto our natural nails. And so what we have to do is remove those cuticles. And in doing this, if you have any like leftover debris from, you know, any nails that you've removed, which I just removed some Gel X nails, then this will give you an opportunity to remove those as well. So I'm just sitting here minding my business, pushing back all of my cuticles. I'm trying to decide if I'm going to come back in a minute or if I'm just going to keep talking to you guys while I do this. So let's talk about further why this is important. Like I mentioned, you want to remove all of your cuticles because you don't want them on your nails, because that risks, you will run the risk of your nails popping off if you have cuticles that are in the way. And so while this seems like a pretty minor step, it's actually very, very important to push back your cuticles. Now eventually, after we finish pushing back our cuticles, there is going to be an option to remove our cuticles by using some cuticle removers or scissors, if you will. But I am going to not do that, because I am told that, well, I know from experience that that's not necessary, but I'm also told that that's also not really that healthy. Like, our cuticles are there for a reason, so removing them can cause infections and all sorts of different stuff. And why would I want an infection if I don't have to have one? Pushing back cuticles and doing this whole step is also important, because it will allow us to, whenever it comes time to put on our nails, our false nails, it will allow us to basically have more nail that we're working with, which is important, because if we can fit our nails, our false nails, to our real nails, and we can make sure that they are perfect fits, or a perfect fit, or they fit as best as we can, then that's going to help with the longevity of the nails. So just like that, takes no time at all. And I kind of wanted to do this in real time, that's why I'm talking. Just like that, we have pushed back our cuticles. And I don't do too much. I'm not here to mess up some stuff. I am here to be gentle and kind to myself and to my hands, because they already look a little crusty, and to my nails. So that's that. Now here are the little cuticle removers, cuticle scissors, I'm gonna be honest, I don't do nearly as much as some people. Like, I literally only remove cuticles if I feel confidently that I can remove the cuticles without messing up my, like, cutting myself. Because if you are cutting your actual skin instead of your cuticles, then you can mess up some stuff, and we don't want to do that. Like right here, I feel confidently that I can grab that and remove that, but that's about the extent that I'm willing to go. That's it. That's all I am willing to do when it comes to cuticle care, because I am not trying to mess up anything. So that's that. The next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to use my electric file. So I use this Fex electric file, and you can also just use a regular file, a regular nail file, or even a buffer to kind of buff out the nails. But what we're trying to do now, especially with using an electric file, and I'm just using one of the bits that came with it, is we are actually going to be doing a bunch of things. We're going to be removing cuticles further, so this is going to help with that, and we're going to be removing all of the shine and gunk and goo and everything that's on our nails. We need a clean base, and we need a rough terrain. So we need our nails to be like a little buffed out, not like super shiny and beautiful like how we would want them if we weren't applying false nails over top of them. We want the complete opposite. So when it comes to an electric file, you want to use the lowest setting when it comes to your natural nails. The lowest setting. This is not low. You can hear this. This is out of control. So I'm going to put this down to low. And like I told you, this is going to help us to remove cuticles further, especially if you get kind of close to the cuticle area. It'll help to kind of remove the cuticles. Basically, it's going to file it away. And in the process, like I mentioned, we're also filing away any shine from our nails and any debris that may have any kind of residue. Like for me, like I just mentioned, I removed a Gel-X set, a set of nails, a whole set of nails. And so I'm kind of removing any leftover gunk and leftover glue and all of that could potentially be on my nails. So you want to be real gentle, which is kind of easy to do. It's kind of easy to be gentle. This is not very hard. If you use the lowest setting, it's quite simple. But really, I'm just kind of going around and I am removing cuticles further. This is my favorite step. I feel like this is a pretty easy step, and I would rather attempt to remove my cuticles in this way than trying to cut them, because that ain't it. So am I in focus? This is a mess. Now what's cool is that these steps, the prepping of the natural nails, actually takes the longest amount of time. Putting on the nails is going to be a little breeze. Watch, it'll take maybe 30 seconds to put on each nail. Not even that, probably like 10 seconds for real. Maybe 30 seconds because I'm going to be explaining it, but in real life it's going to be like 10 seconds. And let's zoom out because me staying in focus is not really working out. All right, so we're going to finish buffing these nails and then we're going to move on to the next step. So what's funny to me is this is a highly requested video and I think that that's funny because who am I to know how to do nails? But I do have a system that I use and it's proven, so I'm going to show my system just like everyone else shows their system. And if you are not aware of this, I have loved wearing false nails and fake nails for a very long time. I'm actually at my heart a nail biter, and so I do have a tendency to bite my nails. So probably since I was like 20, maybe, probably younger than that, probably like 19, since I was a teenager, I have been getting my nails done. Sometimes I don't get my nails done and I like skip it because it costs money or because I just don't feel like being bothered. But for the most part, I am a person who has their nails done and I have no shame about it. None whatsoever, because I absolutely love it for numerous reasons, like I mentioned. But I got into Gel-X nails or doing my own nails because in December, I think, maybe the end of December, I had an injury and I messed up actually this nail. So I'm proud to say that she has grown back and she's looking better than ever. But I kind of messed up my nails or one nail, and I wasn't about to pay a nail tech to do 9 nails because that nail really couldn't be done because it was injured. And so that's kind of how I got into nails. So I tried polygel. That was a fail. That's terrible. Never tried polygel because it's so hard. It's so hard to do polygel. Acrylic is even harder. Acrylic is like the hardest. And Gel-X nails, you guys, chef's kiss. Gel-X nails are basically permanent press-ons, but you can do so much more with Gel-X nails. And I'm here to share with you how. Now, the funny thing is I'll actually be finished with this whole video and probably, oh, we're 10 minutes in. Whew! I'll probably be finished in like another 10 minutes with the actual part that requires a tutorial. And then I'll probably, you know, go away whenever I'll show how I'm, not styling. I'm always using the term styling. I will show how I am designing one nail, and then I'll probably just go away and come back after all of the rest of them are done. So the video is pretty much over, but this is the most important part, so it is definitely worth being thorough when it comes to this. So what I'm doing now is I'm pushing my cuticles back a little more, like for one final time, and just making sure I got everything removed. If I didn't get everything removed, I would just go back over it with a file. But I'm also using the end of this to kind of scrape away any dead skin, any gunk, anything, because I don't want that just building up and sitting in there. I don't know that this is like a super important step. You could probably do without it. But me personally, I just feel like, well, I have gunk and stuff sitting in my cuticle area, on my nails, in my nails, you know, whatever you want to call it, under my finger when I don't have to. So that is what I am doing now. And then after we finish this, I'm actually going to move on to another step. You see that? I don't like all of that. That for me is not necessary. It's kind of weird. So I'm just removing all of that. And you want to take all the time that you can whenever it comes to prepping your natural nails, because that means that your nails are going to last even longer, which is super duper important. And you can actually do a fill-in on Gel X nails. Maybe I'll do a video on that. So, you know, the more time and energy you put into applying your full set, the better and longer you can wear the nails, especially if you do a fill-in. So I'm being really thorough in this video, but the truth is I can probably be finished with this in like 5 minutes, and it's really not too difficult of a task to complete. Okay, so the next thing that we are going to do, we are looking good. The next thing that we're going to do is we're going to pick out our nails. We are going to pick out our nails now, because in a minute we're going to put on some products on our nails, and we want to fit our nails before we go putting on different products on our nails, because eventually my nails are going to be quite sticky. And why attempt this when I have sticky nails when I can attempt it when I have non-sticky nails? So these are Why is this upside down? Una Gela nails, false nails, and these are really long. I think they are 3X. I'm not gonna wear them at 3X, but they are 3X. And I love these. They're pre-buffed, and we'll talk about what that means eventually. Now, eventually, if you get these nails, you will learn what size what size the nails are, and you can remember, so you never have to go through and do this, pick them all out again like I'm having to do. But the first time, you're probably gonna have to do this. So my pinky is a 10, so I'm going to place my pinky nails here. And then I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna do my ring finger. And I would say if my pinky's a 10, it's probably maybe a 9. And so one thing that's important that I'm gonna show you now, so you want your false nail to fit your natural nail from wall to wall. You don't want it to be too short. You're gonna risk, or too, like if it didn't go from wall to wall, like if it's too small, your nail's gonna pop off probably. It's gonna create lifting and your nail's probably gonna pop off. If it's too big, it's definitely gonna create lifting and your nail's gonna pop off. So you want to go from wall to wall. And the reason why I like this brand of nails in particular is because they fit my nail bed perfectly. Sometimes there are nails that don't have this exact shape here, and you might have to use your nail file to kind of shape up the nails like such and make them fit your nail bed perfectly. The more perfectly they fit, the longer they are likely to last. What number is this? Because what I'm not gonna do, I literally don't know. Sometimes they'll have the number on the nail and then that's easy, but I literally just picked that up and I forgot what size it was. So I have all of my nails picked them out off camera, and now it's time to go in further. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna take a lint-free wipe, which is here, this thing. And you want to go with lint free because you don't want to use any type of pad or cotton or whatever that has lint, because that's just creating more work for you. So you want it to be lint free. So we're going to take our lint free wipe, and this is alcohol, regular rubbing alcohol, like such. And so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to use this to clean up the nail. So I'm just basically removing any gunk, any debris left over from filing, any cuticles that I scraped from my nails. You know, I'm just removing all of those different things. So just use a lint-free wipe, and don't worry about using one that has a lint like a cotton pad or round, because that's going to make your job more difficult. And so we're going to put that aside now, and I'm going to let that dry for a few seconds. And while that is drying, I'm just going to check out my nails to see if there's any further prep that I want to do. Like, as an example, I am not liking how this looks, so I'm just going to try to scrape some more of that out. And I'm just doing this while my nails are drying. It's just something to do. So it's something I recommend that you do while your nails are drying. Just go ahead and do that. Now, you can get a dehydrator. Some people buy a dehydrator, but I have learned, even though I've never used a dehydrator, I have learned that regular rubbing alcohol is a dehydrator, and it works well enough. I don't know if it works just as good and all of that, but if you ask me, it works well enough. All right, so the next step is muy importante. We're going to use this YN protein bond, and this is one heck of a chemical. I don't know what they got in this, but basically what it's going to do, you're just going to do a light coat over your nails, and you don't want to get this on your skin because this product is has to be like, I don't know, like one of the strongest chemicals there are out there. So you don't want to get it on your skin. You just want to focus it on your nails. And this is going to further dehydrate, and it is going to help to remove any shine, any gunk, any of that. It's basically like cleaning up your nails. And so I'm just going to use this on all of my different nails, and I knocked this over, so like I'm low-key running low, but it seems that I do have some left for the video today, which is helpful. So, and I have to show you guys my inspiration. I don't know what I'm doing. So we're having a Cinco de Mayo party on Saturday where all of our friends and family members, or most of them, are going to attend. And I was thinking of doing something like festive and funky and cool. Then I saw these nails on my, I don't know, maybe Instagram. And I'm kind of inspired to do that nail design, but I don't know. We'll have to see. I'll have to decide in like a few minutes. And honestly, by the way, I don't really do a lot of like filing of my natural nails or do a lot of care for them necessarily when it comes to trying to figure out the length of them and like all that type of stuff. I'm just really focusing on basically prepping the nail for the false nails. So I'm gonna let that dry for a few seconds, just a few seconds. And now what we're gonna do is we're gonna go in with a base coat. I don't know if this step is necessary, but I do it. This is by the brand Beetles. And honestly, I just went on Amazon to look for a base coat and a top coat. And I think these two came together as a pair. So there's no real rhyme or reason to this, or to why I got this particular brand, but I did get this particular brand. So we're gonna use this base gel. We're gonna use this again when we apply the polish. And I don't know if this is necessary, but this is a step that I do. So that's why I want to focus on it today, because this is something that I think is important. The reason why I think this step is important personally is because it adds like a sticky layer, and that's gonna help the nail to adhere. So once this dries, once I put it in the UV lamp, it's actually still going to be somewhat sticky. And to me, and in my experience, that is helpful because it helps the nails, the false nails, to adhere to this. And I think I've tried not using this before. I can't notice like a major difference in using it or not using it, but I just opt to use it because if it ain't broke, don't fix it. And I'm just applying a light coat, or I'm trying to anyway. That nail, I don't even have a nail there. I don't know what happened there. I don't even know what's going on there. I kind of did cut my nails a little bit earlier, but not anything major. So yeah, very light layer like such. And now we are going to cure, and we are going to cure with using the big lamp. So I have this big lamp here. It is by the brand Sun UV, and I am going to use this because I'm going to cure my whole hand. I do have a smaller UV lamp which we'll use and talk about, but when I'm curing my whole hand, I don't need that little lamp, because that little lamp is only going to allow me to cure 1 or 2 fingers at a time. I don't want to do that. I want to cure all of my nails at the same time, or not all of them at the same time, although I could get a second one and this would go by faster. But I'm just going to cure for my settings are 5 seconds, 30 seconds, and 60 seconds. I'm going to cure both hands for 60 seconds. I'm just going to place my hand in the UV lamp. And if you've gotten your nails done at nail salons and all of that, then you know how, you know, a UV lamp works. But because that's a base, that's a gel base, we need to cure it. So I am just, like I said, I have my hand in here and I'm curing my whole hand for, is it doing 60 seconds? Oh, for 60 seconds. And then I'm going to cure my other hand. This is my small UV lamp. We can talk about this while my hand is curing. This is the GAOY brand, and I use this to flash cure, which we'll talk about that in a minute and why that's important. But that's kind of the purpose that serves. So I'm curing my hands now, and then we'll move on to the next step, which is applying the nails, and it is so easy. Literally a cakewalk. This is the brand of glue that I'm going to be using. So when we're talking about Gel-X nails, and I mentioned how it's kind of like press-on nails on steroids, instead of using the super glue, liquidy glue type of stuff that comes with the press-on nails, you are basically swapping out that for a soft gel. And there are different types of soft gels. There's this kind, there's one that's like a putty, there's a kind that is more like a polish that you use a brush. It comes in like a tube like this and you brush it on. Lots of different methods and systems I'm sure that people have out there. But I got this one, which is also the Una Gela brand, off of Amazon, and it hasn't, you know, it's been fine. So we're gonna use this. Another thing that I sometimes use is I always try to put on sunscreen on my hands, because even though I don't do my nails more since I'm at home, I truly don't. I do them probably less than going to the nail salon every 2 or 3 weeks, which I had to do that because if my set was older than 3 weeks, then I would have to get a new set. That was just a policy. So I always went before 3 weeks. But I actually do my nails less now, I would probably say. But always wear sunscreen, or they have these what are they? Gloves. I have some too. They're gloves that you can put on to protect your hands. But of course, even if you wear those, yes, you'll protect your hands and most of your fingers, but some of your fingers will still be exposed. So either way, just go ahead and try to put on some sunscreen. I feel like that is going to be super duper helpful. So my hand is finishing curing right now as we speak, and then we're going to move on to applying these gels right now, which is going to take no time at all. All right, so let's start with, really I should start with my dominant hand, putting these nails on my dominant hand, but for whatever reason, I feel like I just naturally gravitate towards this step, and so that's what we're gonna do. So we already figured out the nail and how it fits and made sure that it fits well. So now let's go ahead and apply our nails. I'm looking like, am I missing something? No, this is it, friend. This is all that is left to do to actually apply the nails. So this comes in a little tube and you just squirt it. And my recommendation is, if you don't have nails that are pre-buffed, my recommendation is to go in and buff the nails, meaning take your electric file or your regular file and go in and buff up the nails if they're not pre-buffed. These are pre-buffed technically, and so I'm not going to go in and pre-buff them. I don't know if you can really see, but they're basically already pre-buffed, and so I'm not going to buff them. That would be an extra step. So buy nails that are pre-buffed. And so what we're going to do is we're going to get our little UV lamp close by, and I'm actually gonna put my finger in there to turn it on, because that's how you turn it on, and I need it to be on and ready to go. So I'm gonna take this tube and I'm gonna squirt some nail glue here. Now I will say that probably you could get away with using less than what you actually think you need. You do not need a whole bunch of nail glue at all, and a lot of people recommend putting the excess down here at the bottom. The fact is, even if you put way too much, you can file it off at the end of this. So it doesn't really matter if you put too much, but if you put too little, it'll show. So here is the most important step, and we'll leave that there. So what you wanna do is you wanna take your nail and you wanna apply it from the bottom, from the base here up. So you don't wanna go from the top to bottom. You wanna go from bottom to top. And the only thing to remember is that you want to put this thing on super straight, or as straight as you can, because once you cure it, baby, that thing is cured. And you want to make sure there are no air bubbles, which is going to be super easy to do if you follow the steps. I'm going to turn that back on. So you're going to come here and you're gonna press down. And you see, as I'm doing this, I am pressing down with enough force that it is removing all of the bubbles. And that looks about as straight as it's gonna get. So we're gonna flash cure. So we're gonna come in here and we're gonna hold this here for 5 seconds, 5 or 10 seconds. And we're gonna apply all of our nails with a flash cure. And then at the end of this, we will take our whole hand and we'll put it in the big UV lamp and we will cure for a minute. So that is a flash cure. That's on perfectly straight. I mean, I couldn't have asked for better. But the issue is, there is some debris here. There's some debris around here, but it's fine. All we're gonna do is we're gonna take our electric file after we fully cure it, and then we're just gonna file away all of that glue that escaped. So what I'm gonna do, so I don't mess up this, is I'm gonna do the rest of my hands. Maybe you can watch, but I don't think I'm gonna be talking. I think I'll just do this to myself so that I don't mess up this whole process, because these are long nails and we're gonna cut them down. But I'm gonna do this, I will do one more, and then we will, ooh, this looks too big. Is that big? No, we're good. And by the way, if you have to choose between a nail that's kind of too small or kind of too big, always go with the kind of too big one, because then you can take your file here and you can just file it down, file the sides of it or whatever parts you need to file to make it fit your nail. So I put a little bit too much gel because if you can see here, come on, you can do it. There is some overage here, but it's fine. I'd rather it be too much than too little, and it's not that much. If it's, you can tell when it's a whole bunch because it would be all caked up in here. So you just need less than what you probably think that you need. I think I'm gonna turn this off because my camera is giving memory is about to be full again because I just had to delete some stuff. So I'm gonna be right back. A pro tip is, if you are a beginner, I should have shared this before, but don't put your base gel on your right hand. Like, basically do everything that you need to do on one hand and then do your other hand. Not your right hand, but you know, whatever hand you're looking to start with, just do all of that prep and all the base gel and all of that to one hand, and then you can go back and do the other hand. And that isn't something that I would do because I know enough about this to where I think that it makes it faster for me to do both hands at the same time. But if you're a beginner, then you might run the risk of hitting your hand on things and therefore getting lint and stuff on your nails because, you know, it's sticky. So basically just work with one hand at a time. I feel like that's important. And I'm going to show you my hand that's about to come out the UV lamp. And I definitely put one nail on crooked. That's because that finger is kind of crooked, so it kind of just presents as an issue. This one's a little bit crooked, but that finger, like I said, is a little bit crooked, and it just kind of presents as an issue overall. But for the most part, this is good to go, and we can file it a little bit to make it a little bit better. So let me do my other hand, or should we do one hand at a time? No, I want to do my other hand, then I'll be back. Okay, so I have all of my nails on, and like I mentioned, these are really long. I have a mind to keep them the way that they are. So a couple of them are a little bit crooked, but it's fine because, like I said, my fingers are just a little bit crooked. Like, they're really not that crooked. My fingers are crooked. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna trim these down, because you don't want to work with your nails unless they're the length that you want them to be, only because that creates more work. Basically, it would be the equivalent, the way that I liken it is, it would be the same as me painting my whole nail and then deciding I want all of my nails long as they are, and then deciding I want to cut them down. So just get rid of the excess nails ASAP. So I'm just going to trim these down with no rhyme or reason. They're probably not going to really be the same length. I don't even, like, they're not going to perfectly be the same length. I don't even know what length I want them to be. Like, in theory, I want them to be super long like that. I kind of want to keep them the way that they are. Is that crazy? I want to keep them the way that they are for like a few days, but that's a lot of painting that I'll have to do. So we're going to trim them down just a little bit. Not just a little bit. We're going to trim them down a good bit. We're going to trim them down that much and see what that's like. You know, I think we might do that. I think that's how we're going to rock for the first part of this. Yeah. So yeah, there's this tool that I have to cut down the nails and they be like perfect and whatever, but we're not going to do that. But we're also not going to trim them down too much, because that's going to make them not really, ooh, that was too much. That's going to make them like not really stiletto. Are these stiletto? What are these? They're kind of like, are these no, not stiletto. What are these? Coffin. I think these are coffin. Yeah, I think they're coughing. That's not gonna make them super coffiny if we cut them down too short. So we're not gonna go too short. Cut this one down a wee bit more. I'm just showing you how I do this, which is kind of chaotic, but I don't know. I can't be bothered with looking for that tool and all that. So, but that tool will make them all the same shape. So we're just gonna go there. Yeah, and then we're gonna do the same thing for the other one. Now I do have a tendency to try to make sure that they're the same length eventually, but for now, like each nail, like both of my thumbs are the same length and all of that, but like originally I kind of just go in like a crazy person and trim my nails, because to me it doesn't really matter that much about if they're like exactly the same length. That's not that big of a deal to me. So there's that. So this can be cut down a little bit more. So we'll do that, and we're gonna have to file these anyway, so even if it's not perfect, it doesn't really matter. So that's how I would do that, just as an example. I would just line them up, make sure they're the same, and then take it from there. So I'm gonna trim down the rest of these, and then I will be back. Okay, so I've trimmed down my nails. I think I cut that one a little bit too short, but the rest of them look pretty good. Yeah, that one's a little bit too short, but it's okay because that one's a little bit crooked, and I feel like the shorter that I cut them down, the better. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna file them. So what we are doing is we're gonna file away all of the extra glue that escaped, and we are actually going to file away this, basically to kind of roughen up this top layer to prepare for our gel polish. So you could use a regular nail file like such. As you can see, it's doing the trick, but I have an electric nail file that was very cheap, so I'm gonna use it. And I'm gonna use probably like a medium setting. Doesn't need to be too rough, because if your file is too rough, it can actually file away some of the nail in like the top layer or the top couple layers. And we're just looking to roughen up the nail, and then when we get to the cuticle area, we will focus on removing the glue. So we are gonna have to take a nail file to straighten up the nails, but we don't have to do that immediately. We can do it in a minute. So what we're doing now, with a little bit more, which is probably gonna require a little bit more, we are going to, gotta go down for more. We are going to remove that glue. And I do recommend, if you're trying to get rid of glue, I do recommend to go up on the setting of the nail file, because really the more you go up on settings, you know, the more the tip spins, the bit spins, and the quicker you get things done, basically. That's how I view it. So I like to spend a good amount of time in the cuticle area, because if you file it, all the glue away enough, and you file any other gunk that has come here to live away, then the better and the more smooth of a transition you have, and it looks more like a professional done your nails rather than you doing your nails. So I'm going to file all of these, and then I'll be back. So I buffed up the nails good enough. Now when it comes to filing the nails, well, what you're just trying to do is just to get it straight. So all I'm trying to do right now is just getting them nice and straight and square. That's it. So I'm going to do this, and then I'll be right back. Okay, so nails are filed, and I like a pretty like crisp nail, and don't be afraid to really go in when you're filing your nails, because the truth is that honestly, these nails are on here for dear life if you put them on correctly. So you don't have to be gentle and think that they're gonna like pop off or anything. You don't have to do any of that. Okay, so I'm also gonna take the same lint-free wipe, or maybe a different one, I don't know. I just have two of them, and I'm just gonna wipe off the nail just to kind of get rid of any of that glue, or not glue, any of that gunk and debris and stuff. And as I mentioned, even if you put your nail on Cricut, once you file it, you can kind of file it, as long as it's like remotely straight. Once you file it, you can file it and get it to look pretty much right and straight. So don't worry about if you put your nail on super crooked. I mean, like slightly crooked. If you put it on super crooked, that's gonna be a problem. So here are my nails. Now here's the thing. I'm gonna pop up my inspiration picture here, because I was gonna do something fun and funky, like I mentioned, for the party and Cinco de Mayo and all of that. But then I saw this other nail and I was inspired. So I have this Beetles gel nail polish in B 160. I'll have it linked down below. It came in a set of 6, I think. And then I have some of my tools here. I don't know what I'm gonna do because I was thinking, I don't know. So with this, the one that I just popped up, it should be showing. It's like a pinky color, and then the person put on a bunch of these little diamonds, which I have some in my repertoire. But I'm trying to think, do I want to go with like a different color? Like, look at all the different colors that I have. I have all of these different colors. So I'm trying to decide if I want to do, I was looking up yesterday, like a splatter, like a marble kind of effect. So I was thinking about doing that. That looked fairly simple, but all of these different colors that I have. So what if I maybe didn't do like this nudie color like the people have, even though that's super cute, and I did, is that black? Oh, okay. Maybe like a marble with black and white and a bunch of different colors. I don't know. I kind of want to be chaotic, but then I also kind of don't. Like this orange could be cute, and maybe this pink, or I could do like this Barbie pink and the sparkles. Would that be crazy? I don't know. I'm thinking I want to do that, and then, yeah, I feel like I want to do that. And then if I get tired of that, I'll just file it off and then apply something else. I think that's what I'm going to do. Okay, so first things first, we need to apply our gel base coat. So that's the top gel. So we're going to apply a base coat like I mentioned already, and maybe I'll just show you how to do one nail, and then we'll come back and do all of the rest of them. So I'm going to apply a thin layer of this base gel. I don't know. I don't think I'm going to do, well, I could. I was going to say, because I can cure this nail by itself. I would never just cure one nail in the big UV lamp. I'm always going to try to cure as many as I can. That eliminates how much time my finger or hand is going to be in the UV lamp. And so there's a little left over, and so I'm going to get rid of that. I'm actually probably going to take this utensil here, and I'm just going to scrape away that, because you don't want to cure anything that's not in its rightful place. I'm just going to remove that, and let's cure it. We'll cure this for a minute. Come on, you can do it. We'll cure this for a minute, and then we'll do the whole design, and then we'll kind of see what we're working with. So what do we decide on? We're going to use this pinky color. It's like a bright pink. Or should we use this color while we wait? Vote down below. Just kidding. This is giving Barbie. I'm trying to see these two. As you can see, we've lost daylight. This one, I could mix them two together. They kind of look cute. If we're gonna do the sparkles, I feel like we should do a lighter color. Then I'm also feeling like maybe we should do, no, because this isn't even, at this point, this isn't even a pink. I could probably mix these two together and it would be cute. But I think we're gonna go with this. Let's look and see at what it looks like. I'm gonna shake it, because you always wanna shake up your polish. And this is automatically set for a minute. That's the only setting that it has. So it's gonna do it for a minute no matter if I wanted to or not. Of course, I could take out the nail, which I probably could because I'm just doing the base coat. So it's not that important. But let's look at this color and see what we're working with. Ooh, whew. Yeah, we're gonna do that. So interestingly enough, painting, oh my God, painting nails actually has turned out to be much easier than I thought. So I thought this would be like a real force to be reckoned with, but it's actually quite easy. So you just want to get a little close to the base here, and when this is just a base coat, so it doesn't need to be perfect. It does need to be evenly distributed so that when you put on the second coat, when we put on the second coat, it looks good. It doesn't really have to be perfect. And like I mentioned, if you're going to clean up something, do so before you go curing. So what I'm going to do is I'm actually going to take some acetone, which I'm going to set back here, and I'm going to dip my little brush in the acetone because that's nail polish remover, and I'm just going to wipe it off, and then I'm just going to come around here and wipe away the excess, because we don't want, like I mentioned, any extra. I have actually only done my nails using nude colors so far, so this is actually tripping me out. And since it's such a bold color, I'm just putting a little more time and energy into it than I typically would, because like I mentioned, it is quite a bold color. Otherwise I would not do all this. So I'm taking, ooh, this one's hard. This is one of the hard ones. I need a soft one, but this might be able to work. I'm just really trying to perfect this side over here. I'm excited to bling out these nails, but I'm kind of reconsidering because I feel like that's kind of chaotic. So the size that the people use was probably like a medium. So I'm thinking one of these, like I have large ones. I know that's gonna be a hot mess, but maybe, ooh, it's either between these or these. This one's pretty big. And that one's quite small. That one's kind of cute. Maybe we'll do this one. All right, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna take this Beetles nail glue, okay? We're gonna open it up. It's probably gonna be a lot at the top, like a lot of, nope, a lot of excess. So we're gonna take this utensil here and we are gonna put some nail glue down on our nail. And because we're doing a kind of small one, we don't need to put a lot of nail glue, maybe that much. And then we'll do another one here and another one here. And it's probably too big. Another one here. It might look cute after we cure it, but yeah, these are way smaller than what I thought they were. These are super small. And then we'll put one there. But I like this size, so we might have to, I think we can make it work. I'm trying to decide, maybe I should have put one top coat first. You kind of just gotta play with it when it comes to that type of thing. Like whenever you're trying to do a design and maybe you don't know really much about designing and all of that, you kind of just have to play around. That's what I do. Okay, so let's see if we can put this top coat on without it looking crazy. I'm going to remove all of the excess. Literally, I don't want any excess. Just like the most basic top coat ever. I think that'll do it. It's gonna look slightly crazy, but nothing too crazy. So I'm gonna dip this in acetone, and acetone helps to remove the nail polish and the gel, so that's why I'm dipping it in the acetone so that I can remove the gel polish over here. Could probably just use nothing, but you know, whatever. Okay, so here are my nails. A little chaotic, but we like a little chaos. And the last thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go in with this Sweet Almond Cuticle Oil by Nail Care, which I got off of Amazon. I'm pretty sure I got almost everything that you're seeing off of Amazon. And I'm just gonna add some cuticle oil. Now I will say a lot of people suggest to add this like before you're removing your nails, like before you soak them in acetone, and just like at various times whenever you feel like a little extra oil or cuticle care will help out the process. But for me, I just kind of put it on at the end, and then I also put this on just kind of randomly. So some people will apply this every morning or whatever the case is. I kind of just put it on as I see fit. So yeah, my nails are pretty chaotic, but I am not mad at them because I wanted them to be chaotic because I like chaos, and I wanted them to be chaotic for the weekend and for the party. And the thing is, you guys, what'll probably happen is that whenever I'm tired of this chaos, then I'm just going to take my electric file and I'll just file away all of the gems and all of the pink in the top coat, and maybe I'll just paint my nails pink, or I'll paint them purple or white or black, or like whatever kind of color that I want, or I'll try a different design. So very easy. All I have to do is just remove, it's a little bit hard to remove the gems, but basically just removing the gems and then removing the color, which that is quite easy. So that is what I will do whenever I get tired of this. So that's why I just kind of experiment. Again, I've only been doing my nails for 4 months, almost 5 months, I guess. So, well, I guess exactly 4 months. I started in January. So, you know, just kind of playing around with different stuff is just what I do. So I'll leave these nails on for as long as they will stay on, and what I'll do is I'll just change up the style and the design, and then eventually I'll cut them down so they'll be like short nails, because for whatever reason I like going from chaotic nails like this to nails that are more subtle and elegant, I guess, if that's what you want to call it. I don't know. What you call it? Sophista ratchet. That's me. So I just like going back and forth. But eventually I'll probably trim them down so they're like a cute little square nail, and maybe I'll keep them pink. So maybe I'll just like keep all the sparkles and stuff and just kind of trim off some of it, like that or something like that. But these are the final nails. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video and you learned from it. I will have everything linked down below. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, leave them down below in the comment section. And if you like this video, give it a like, subscribe if you're new and if you're liking what you're seeing, and I will catch you guys right back here in a few days in a brand new video. And by the way, it is 8:50, which means that I've been watching YouTube videos and chilling and relaxing and running errands. So, you know, it takes me a while to do my nails, but in theory, I probably could have busted through this without filming in probably an hour and a half, 2 hours max, which is a good amount of time, but I'm still a novice and I'm doing my own nails as opposed to a professional doing my nails for me, and they know what they do, know what they're doing. So I assume eventually I'll get good enough to do that pretty quickly. But these are my nails and I'll catch you guys later. Bye.